and welcome back to the Style Creator Beginner Series Part 2. On this video, I'll be taking a brief look at the Rec or Recording Channel tab. This is one of those videos I could spend 5 minutes or a full day on. I'll try and keep the video as short as I can today just to keep it as simple as possible, but once I've finished the basic series, I'll look to put together a more intermediate series if that's of interest to anyone. If you're new to Style Creator, and haven't yet watched part 1 of the series, it might be worth checking out the video just to familiarise yourself with how to access Style Creator and to see what options are available from within the Basic tab. After switching on the Genos, I loaded up Style Creator and Throwback Pop shows up as that's the style that comes up first when I switch on the keyboard. And just as a recap, loading up Style Creator is as easy as pressing on the menu button, choosing Menu 2, then selecting Style Creator. There is actually another way to open up Style Creator by pressing just a single button, and that's to assign Style Creator to one of the assignable buttons. I just happen to have button F available on the assignable buttons, and now I use that to open up Style Creator with one quick press. To set that up, I pressed the Direct Access button and then pressed one of the assignable buttons. This brought up the assignable menu. I clicked on F, went to the category Shortcut, and scrolled down until I found Style Creator. For me, this is a big time saver as it removes several steps each time I have to open up Style Creator. But just be mindful though that if you create the shortcut and you open up another registration where you've saved assignable buttons but not this one, it will revert back to how it used to be unless you resave those registrations with the new assignable settings. Now on the left hand side we see the 5 tab options, and right below Basic from the last video we have the Rec channel, short for Recording Channel. If we press that, you should be seeing a screen similar to the one showing up on my screen. Now I say similar because I don't own or have never seen a Genos 1, but I'm under the impression that the Genos 1 doesn't have the ambience options for Rhythm 1 and Rhythm 2. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments, but hopefully all of the other options are there regardless. Looking at the screen, we can see that the top portion is identical to the top portion on the Basic tab. We went through the information on the top bar in part 1, and simply switching from Basic to Rec channel doesn't change the information shown. We still have the Style Creator heading, we still have the name of the style that's loaded, we still have the bar information, and we still have the Save option and Step Edit button. And as previously mentioned on the last video, I'll be doing a separate video on Step Edit as there is a lot of information to take in just with that function alone. So the last thing at the top of the bar that we can see is Rhythm 2 with a red circle. We saw this in part 1, and it will now make a lot more sense and seem more relevant now because certain interactions on this page will switch this on and off and you'll be able to see what's happening in real time, and we'll come back to that in a sec. The metronome button's still there and a simple press switches it on or off, but we do lose the option to change the tempo on this page. But if we need to alter the tempo, all we've got to do is switch back to the Basic tab, change the tempo to what we want, and now when we come back to the Rec channel, pressing the metronome gives us the new tempo setting that we just inputted. Whenever you play a style on the Genos, the style's made up of several different instruments which have been recorded to various different channels. Each channel will have been set up and saved in such a way that it allows us to play the style throughout the range of chords available. If we select Throwback Pop, when we go into the mixer and select Style, you can see that there's 8 channels. If you look for the green circles, this will show you that these channels have some information recorded to them. So Rhythm 2, Bass, Chord 1 and Phrase 2 all have information recorded to them. If I tap on the green titles for the channels that have no information, i.e. the green circle doesn't light up, you'll see that we've just got 4 active channels highlighted, which should make things a bit easier to follow. I'll turn them all off and then switch them back on one by one. And you'll see that now it's these 4 separate channels all combined together that make up main variation A on Throwback Pop. When we play this style and change the chords, all you're hearing is the same 4 channels, but the keyboard's changing them to suit the chords you play. With Style Creator, we have the option to record or program these channels ourselves so that we can create our own styles. And Rec channel is where we do the bulk of that work. When we looked at Throwback Pop in the mixer, we saw the 4 active channels that made up main variation A. We're now in the Style Creator on Variation A, and what we're looking at is the same 4 channels that we saw in the mixer. And as before, I can switch them all on and off one by one. However, because we are in Style Creator, we now have the ability to edit the style and not just play it. So what we see in front of us now are the 8 channels that make up the styles on the Genos: Rhythm 1, Rhythm 2, Bass, Chord 1, Chord 2, Pad, Phrase 1 and Phrase 2. Now there is an audio channel, but that's not something I'll be covering in the Basics series, because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think the Genos styles come with audio. I may be wrong and let me know in the comments if I am, but I'm sure that's aimed at previous keyboards when styles were recorded slightly differently. So for now I'll just concentrate on the 8 channels that are given to us. So when we make our styles, we have several different options. We can record our own channels from scratch. Essentially, we start from a clean slate, and this is done by pressing Initialize Style from the Basic tab. We can keep some of the channels as they are and just record the ones that we wish to change. We can delete the ones we don't want and swap them for other channels from other styles from within the Genos. We also have the option to edit the rhythm channels if we want to, but note that you can't edit any other channel if it's a style from Yamaha. You can only swap them or delete them and re-record those channels, or leave them in place if needs be. But it goes without saying, if you record your own channel, you're free to edit those after you've recorded to it. And of course, we can use any combination of the above to create our own styles. So how do we do that? First things first, let's look at what we've got in front of us. What we can see here are the 8 channels available to us: Rhythm 1, Rhythm 2, Bass, Chord 1, Chord 2, Pad, Phrase 1 and Phrase 2. Each channel has a few options available. To set the channel up for recording, press and hold the title until it lights up red. If there is information recorded to that channel, then pressing the title again will now turn it green, which means you can still listen to the channel, but it's not in record mode. If you press it whilst it's red and the light goes out and won't turn green, it's because there's no information on the channel yet to listen to, so it'll stay blank unless you're recording to it. You'll also notice now that whenever you highlight a channel to record to it, it'll let you know at the top bar as well. This is handy for when you start switching tabs, as you'll still be able to see what the active channel is even if you're not on the recording page. Below the title on the channel there's a square window which, when pressed, opens up the list of instruments available to us. According to the reference manual, we can record anything on Rhythm 1 apart from organ flute voices, and on Rhythm 2 it's only drum or SFX kits. And if I press on Rhythm 1, you can see all the options that we've got. And if I press on Rhythm 2, you can see that we've only got access to the drum kit tab. Next to the instrument window is a black circle. When you press play, if the channel has information recorded to it, the circle turns green. And at the bottom, there is the option to delete your recording. If delete's blanked out, then it's because there's no recording there and hence nothing to delete. We'll make a few changes to this variation. Before we do, we need to understand how the recording works. Whenever you play a style on the keyboard, what you're actually hearing is a recording that continuously loops. This is originally set up within the Basic tab here. If we look at this window here, this tells us that the pattern length is 4 bars, and after 4 bars have played, the pattern will repeat itself forever. Different styles may have different loop times, depending on how it's all been set up. This is important to know because when we're recording Style Creator, we're actually recording something that will loop itself indefinitely. When we record, we need to know when to start and when to stop within the loop. That's why it's common practice when recording to press start, allow the pattern to run and complete a full cycle, and then come in when we feel the time's right, rather than trying to start recording the minute the start button's pressed. This is the beauty of Style Creator. When we press start to record, it'll keep repeating the pattern in a loop, and when we're ready, we can record our piece within that loop. But what's even better is, when that loop repeats, it doesn't override the newly recorded data. It allows us to overdub and record more data over the same loop. Sometimes it's much easier to see this in practice. So a quick look at the pattern length, and I know looking at this it's 4. When I press start, pattern will loop every 4 bars. A great way to highlight this is as follows. On the Recording Channel tab, Rhythm 1 has nothing recorded to it yet, So press and hold the Rhythm 1 title and it should turn red, meaning it's now set for recording. Click on the instrument window and on page 6 select Gospel Adlibs, then X at the top to close the window. If on the keyboard I press the F3 key, you'll hear the word 1. F sharp is 2, G is 3, and G sharp is 4. I'm going to record 1, 2, 3 and 4 to each bar of the pattern to highlight the loop. To do that, I press start, and because rhythm 1 is red, whatever I press on the keys once start is pressed will record to this channel. I need to keep an eye on what bar I'm at, bide my time, and then come in when I'm ready. You can see the pattern repeats itself and everything sounds okay. This time, let's say I'm not confident recording everything in one go. I can use the fact that we can overdub during the loop like this. With the Yamaha styles, we're free to edit and play around with the rhythm channels. I'll switch off recording mode with a quick press of the red title, just so I don't overdub any unwanted sounds or effects. Then when I press play, I can try out different drum kits. If I want to, I can overdub to that channel as well. So if I want to add toms, for example, I'll press the title until it turns red for recording, press play, wait for the loop to start over, and then record my toms. With the other channels, it's a little bit different if they are Yamaha styles. We can't overdub or edit like we can the rhythm channels, but we can still change the instruments. And if you try to edit the channel, it will give you this pop-up message. But we can delete it if we want and create our own channel. We can also take a channel from another style using the Assembly tab, which I'll cover in more depth in part 3. But as a quick example, I can bring in another chord sequence, variation D from Chart Dance Pop. I mean, it sounds a mess, but you get the idea. You'll notice that when we record something in Style Creator, and then we exit and play the style on the keyboard, we're able to change chords, and Yamaha works its magic and converts everything to the chord you're currently playing. For the Genos to be able to do this correctly, you need to ensure that when you're in Style Creator, you record your channel using the correct source root chord. When we initialize Style Creator and it gives us a clean slate to work on, it sets the source root chord to CM7. We can check and change this in the SFF Edit tab under Play Root Chord. Most of the time you'll find it in CM7, and I'd say if you're new to Style Creator, try and keep in CM7 until you get used to how Style Creator works. Here's an example. Let's say I want to play a D minor on this ballad and have a jingle playing. I can record it using the phrase channel, but if I'm in CM7, I need to record it in CM7 and not D minor. And all being well, when I go to play the D minor chord, Genos converts it for me and everything plays as expected. However, if I record the jingle in D minor but the source root chord is still in CM7, this happens. I can of course delete it and start again, and I have the option to change the source root chord to D minor. That's when things start to get a little bit more advanced. I think at this point, it's probably a good idea to create a simple style and see how everything fits together. I'll need to switch to tabs that we haven't covered yet to tweak things a bit, but I won't go into too much detail with those tweaks as I'll be covering them in parts 3, 4 and 5. I need to start from a clean slate, so in the basic tab I press initialize style and that resets everything to default. I'm going to be setting the tempo to about 100. Time signature will be 4/4. I'm just working on section main A and I just need a pattern length of 1 bar. Section time signatures will stay the same, and a quick check and I can see I need to record everything in CM7, which suits me most of the time anyway. First channel I record to is rhythm 2. I just want a simple drum loop, so I'm going to swap to a studio kit. Pressing C1 and D1 gives me my kick and my snare drum. Rhythm channel is lit up red, ready for recording to, so I'll press start, wait for the bar to loop back and play my drums. It's slightly out of timing, so quick fix is to quantize the drums, which basically means timing them correctly to the beat. A little music theory does help here, but it's not always necessary. Now let's say I want to try and add a cymbal over the top. Because we can overdub the recorded loop, all I have to do is press a cymbal wherever it seems appropriate. If I'm not happy with that, I can remove the cymbal by pressing the clear drum instrument button and it says play the desired key while this message is shown. The drum instrument voice assigned to the key will be cleared. So once you know which key you've used for the part that you want to delete, press clear, press the key and magically it's gone. If you can't remember the key that you pressed, you can go into step edit, scroll down, listen to the cymbal sounding and look at the key that shows up. You can delete it from step edit, or you can just clear the drum instrument now you know what key to press. Now let's say you really like the kick drum, but you don't like the snare. You can actually swap out just the snare by pressing the drum setup at the bottom. I'll swap it and see how it sounds. As it happens, I don't like it and I've decided to start all over again. So all I've got to do is delete everything on that channel. This time I'm going to choose Rock Kit. You'll notice that this kit says ambient drums above it. And when you're back on the Style Creator page, you'll see the instrument icon has what looks like sound waves coming out of the drums. This is to highlight that these drums are ambient drums. I don't fully understand the ins and outs of ambient drums, but from what I do understand, I think that when Yamaha sample the drum sounds, they place microphones at different places within a room to capture varying ambiences. And if you look underneath the channel slots, they've given us the option to control the ambience with a simple control button. So I'll record the same pattern. So I'm happy with that, and I'll leave the channel and just add a bass line. Pressing and holding bass turns it red to indicate it's a recording channel. And rhythm turns green, which means I can still hear it playing, but nothing will be recorded to it. All I'm going to do is add a simple bass line using just the C key. A quick quantize, and that sounds alright. All that's left to do now is a simple phrase using a piano. So I hold down the phrase button to turn it red for recording. I can't quite keep up with the tempo, it's too fast. So I'm going to delete what I've just recorded, go to the basic channel and bring the tempo to 80 and record again. That sounds alright, and see how everything sounds outside of Style Creator. I can save the file first if I need to, but for now I'll exit Style Creator and give it a quick listen. I just need to make sure that I don't change styles or I'll lose what I've just been working on. And that's the basics of the recording channel within Style Creator. There is a lot more that you can do within this section, and if it's of interest I can certainly make more videos. The recording channel page is probably where most of the work is done, but your styles can really come to life once you understand and master the rest of the various tab pages. I will be going over the basics of all the tabs within Style Creator in this series of beginner videos, so if it's of interest then feel free to bob back and have a look. If you're new to Style Creator, then the best advice that I can give you is to open it up and just have a play. Things won't always run smoothly because what you want is not always what the keyboard thinks you want. That's why it's important to master all elements within Style Creator. But keep things simple, stick to the basic melodies within the default source root chord, have a play around, experiment, note down any issues that you find you might have, search for answers to those questions, and soon your confidence and experience grows and your styles become easier to produce and sound much better. But the most important thing of all has got to be have fun.